think that when a novel comes together, it it actually takes a lifetime of experiences and influences and things that you've seen and have entered into your mind and your subconscious, and you take a very long time to assimilate all this information and get something out of it. So Vacuum County has many influences. It comes from many different sources, and oddly enough, they all became very integrated, and it's hard to take them apart now. It's hard to say what the first thing was that inspired me. But certainly, there's no denying that it does have a biblical kernel to it. It comes from a story that I read when I was in fourth grade. I was in Israel, and everybody read the Bible in class. And we read it very simply, just the way it was written, with not a lot of interpretation on it. And so it was the story of Naval HaKarmeli and Abigail, uh, which in English you would know as Nabal the Carmelite, and Abigail. And I always felt, you know, free to decide for myself who the good guys are in any story based on what they do, and not based on whether the book tells you they're wearing a white hat or a black hat. It was just after Samuel had died, and well, here's the story. This is Samuel 1, 25, and this is how we read it. ואיש במעון ומעשהו בכרמל, והאיש גדול מאוד, ולא צאן 3,000 ו1,000 עזים, ויהי בגזוז את צאנו בכרמל. This was the second verse, because the first verse was about Samuel dying. And the third verse says, ושם האיש נבל, ושם אשתו אביגיל, והאישה טובת שכל, ויפת תואר, והאיש קשה ורם מעללים, והוא כליבו, חליבי. What is that word? That was a scribal error, and they have the pointing going one way and the consonants going another way. Instead of that vav at the end of the word, there should have been a yud. And so it turns out that that meant Kalivi, which means Calebite. And I didn't know this for years until I went to a Republican state convention. I was there as an alternate, and I was sharing a room with a born-again Christian, and she said, hey, let's take out our Bibles and read. And I suggested this story because I liked the story and it was on my mind a lot. But she's the one who told me, hey, he was a descendant of Caleb, which is, you know, this was when it finally dawned on me that this man was not just a rich man. He was a descendant of a famous explorer, spy, and conqueror, or if you like, a conquistador. So that's when the spark ignited, and I realized there was a story there beyond that story.